Introduction. If you've spent your hard-earned money to purchase this audiobook, I think you deserve to know a little about the person who wrote it and how he came by all the business wisdom and advice it contains. Unlike many books on the market, none of what I'll tell you in this audiobook is theory. I'm going to share with you what I learned when, with $3,000 and a credit card, I took a basic business idea and turned it into one of America's largest and most profitable corporations. My goal is to help you do things the right way, the first time. When you think through the topics in this audiobook, I hope you'll say to yourself, this stuff is important to me and my business. In Built Not Born, you won't find buzzwords, wild promises, unnecessary information, or hyperbole. What you will find is solid business advice that, if taken, will make your life easier and help you become more successful. I'll also tell you the stories behind how some of my key business beliefs took shape and describe the circumstances that led to my adopting them as my own successful business strategies. The biggest challenge facing entrepreneurs is that most don't have the benefit of over 50 years' experience mastering their trade, 50 years of making mistakes and finding ways not only to correct them, but also to ensure they don't make them again. They haven't fought their way through seemingly impossible challenges and dealt with idiots, phonies, and others who seem to delight in hampering their progress. It's this experience that I bring to the business I invest in, and now to those of you who listen to this audiobook. In today's ever-changing business world, where augmented reality is actually a thing, and there is an Internet of Things, I sought an old-school way of allowing you to invite me into your business through a book. My advice will sometimes fly in the face of perceived business wisdom. In fact, it will often question standard practices and defy the status quo. Throughout my life, I've challenged the ways things are done in business, sports, politics, and philanthropy. Why? To increase my chances of winning in business and life while still offering a good deal for everyone. In this book, for the first time, I'll share my no-nonsense, sometimes contrarian, principles and business approaches with you. The ones that turned the son of Sicilian immigrants from West Irondequoit, New York, into a multi-billionaire. Built Not Born will give you an edge. It will tell you how to turn the odds of success in your favor, improve productivity and profitability, reduce risks, and avoid the many pitfalls lying in wait for unwary and inexperienced business people. Where it all started. When I launched a small payroll processing company back in 1971, I had no idea it would become the corporate giant and industry leader that Paychex is today. All I wanted to do was make enough money to support my family and ensure that my developmentally disabled son would never have to live in a state-run facility. The concept for Paychex originated when I was a salesman in the payroll processing sector for EAS, Electronic Accounting Systems, a competitor of the industry leader, ADP, Automatic Data Processing. Like every other payroll processing company, EAS targeted companies with 50 or more employees. At the time, it was an industry-wide belief that outside payroll services were viable only for large companies. No one had ever thought to challenge that principle, and I love a good challenge, especially if it tests commonly held beliefs that don't stand up to scrutiny. I started to question the reasoning behind why small businesses with fewer than 50 employees wouldn't need our services even more than larger companies did. I went to the library. That was how long ago this was, pre-internet, and discovered that approximately 95% of businesses in America had 50 employees or fewer. That was a huge market the company I worked for was ignoring. On my own time, I spent several months talking to small businesses and accountants and testing my financial assumptions. More importantly, I figured out a way to deliver payroll services to this market at a price these small businesses could afford. Once I had proven to myself there was indeed a market the industry leaders were missing, I talked to my bosses at EAS. I presented my findings, expecting that they would support me in approaching this promising new market.